Welcome back to Social Work Exam Prep. I am your host, your clinical supervisor extraordinaire who really enjoys teaching, Dr. Tanisha Robinson, PhD, LCSW, all the fabulous things, and I'm also a clinical supervisor. Today's question is for the graduate level exam. So depending on what state you're in, that's going to be an LSW, an LMSW, or an LGSW. I think there's only one state that I'm aware of, and it happens to be one that I supervise in, where the graduate level license is the LCSW, and then that means the clinical level license there is the LICSW. Do I know why we are a profession where we don't have universal letters for our license the way MDs, DOs, and RNs do? No, I don't. I don't have those answers. But today's question will be for the graduate level exam. So this would be the exam that you take after you finish your MSW. And if your state requires you to be licensed, you would need to take this exam. So these next couple of questions will be geared towards that. And we'll alternate from time to time. So there'll be clinical level and then graduate level. The way you can decipher and decide which questions you want to study or practice on, it will say clinical level or graduate level. So feel free to do one, the other, or both. We are doing the exam prep tonight a little different in terms of the presentation of the question. One of my cats, Maslow, got a little excited while I was doing some of the prep work, and in the process of writing the questions out on my giant sticky notepad, he spilled my coffee all over the sticky notepad. After lots of deep breathing and a fresh cup of coffee made, I realized that I just had to get a new sticky pad. So the order is in. We should hopefully be getting it tomorrow or in the next 2 days. But for now, we just had to wing it. So just an FYI, if the question process situation looks a little different, that is why.
A school social worker is meeting with a family that immigrated from another country recently, and their son is enrolled in the elementary school. During this initial meeting with the son and the parents, he becomes upset and mentions that he does not like the physical discipline that happens at home. The parents report that his punishment is a response to the negative behaviors he has at home, which they feel need to improve. What is the first thing the school social worker should do? Is it A, inquire about what the home life expectations are and if their son is aware of them? B, report the situation to Child Protective Services for them to screen, assess, and follow up? C, understand the severity of the physical punishment that's happening in the home? Or D, provide education on local law and physical discipline and create a plan to help the parents use other disciplinary techniques to manage at-home behaviors?
So the answer to the question was B as in boy. Report the situation to CPS and let them screen, assess, and respond. So to dive a little deeper, there is something called the mandated reporter law. That law states that for mental health providers, other healthcare professionals, teachers, and those of us that are in helping professions. We are mandated by law that if there is any suspected abuse, neglect, or exploitation of a child or an adult, we are required to call either Child Protective Services for our county or state jurisdiction or Adult Protective Services for the county or state jurisdiction. The reason I say county or state is because oftentimes the individual county lines that you would call close at 4 or 4:30, and then there's one general number, or if you call the individual lines and it routes it to one person that's on call for after hours. So generally the line is almost always on hold. But in the state that I work, in the states that I work in, they do have really, really fun hold music. So at least there's that. So if there is a suspicion of abuse, neglect, or exploitation, you call. It is that simple. The weight comes off of you. You are not the investigator. You are not the detective. You are not looking into this super duper deep for the purposes of determining if this is or isn't. The mandated reporter law takes all of that off of you. I make sure that no matter what, I tell all of my patients, I am mandated to report X, Y, or Z things, but otherwise everything that you say in this room stays confidentially between us. Outside of that, I am mandated, and I make it very clear so that way there are no surprises. I have had to make several calls in my career to CPS and APS. They're not fun. They aren't. Sometimes they get screened out and nothing needs to get done. Sometimes they open up a case and they start working with the family or the person or, whatever the situation might be. The reason that I say the onus comes off of you is because you are mandated by law. If you choose not to, right? Maybe you want to dig a little deeper, ask a few more questions. What happens if you don't see that person or that child or that client for another week or two and something happens and it's discovered that you knew that maybe potentially something was going on? That's your license. That's your ass. So, it's a lot of cat hair. Maslow's shedding left and right. So, it takes the onus off of you. Make the call. Let CPS be the determining factor between if a case is or is not open. Do not you yourself decide, the only digging a little deeper that you might want to do in the moment, of discovering potential abuse, neglect, or exploitation is to ask for a few more details, understand what happened. If they choose not to share that with you, that doesn't mean you don't make that report. However, if they choose to share, make your own notes, and then still file the report with that information that you've been given. But make the report. It stings the first couple of times. I'm not going to lie to you. It does. But it gets easier after that to be able to make sure the understanding is I'm trying to keep you safe, even if you feel some type of way about me calling. Don't believe me? Want to understand what the consequences could be for the system being all over the place and really letting someone down? Watch I think it's called The Case of Gabriel Fernandez. It's a very sad story about a little boy. He's 8 years old when he died. I want to say that it's a docu-series on Netflix. Be prepared to cry the entire way through, but it's a lesson. A lesson. Thanks for stopping by. We'll continue doing other practice questions. I am working on developing some topic questions that are more specific to, like psychopharmacology, where we go over the different kinds of antidepressants, anti-anxieties, mood stabilizers, antipsychotics, things like that, to help with you all having some understanding and some hints. For now, we'll still do practice questions and go over why the answers are right and or wrong. So we'll see you again next time on Social Work Exam Prep. Have a good night.